Fantastic.
So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another interview of the Chill Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector. And today I'm joined by Sami Hinkka. You may know him,
Well,
the bass player for the band Ensiferum, who have a new album called Winter Storm. And it's coming out through Metal Blade Records on October 18th. So, Sami, how are you today?
I'm
How are
doing
you
super. Thank you. It's a fantastic feeling. Things are, I'm doing good. It feels good finally to get the album out. I mean, it's the longest gap we ever had between two albums. So everything okay?
Yeah. How long was the gap? Like 4 years, right?
You
Three
look
to four.
like a bit troubled.
Okay. Okay. So
It's
yeah. So
insane. But
you're.
yeah, there was something called COVID in between.
Oh yeah. I know. I know. Yeah. That put us everyone like
I think
behind. So this new album, I
I think
was
we
re
have a small. Yeah. I mean, the whole planet was fucked. I'm sorry.
okay.
I think we have a small delay here.
A little bit, but we'll work through it. So
I'm trying to check.
this album,
No, I'm
I
not that.
was reading that part of the
Yeah.
album.
Okay. Let's do it. You asked. I'm not answer.
Okay, I think everything's good now. Uh, so the album I was reading that this is your actually part of this album is through you're writing a book. Is that correct?
Yes. The thing is that I was quite desperate releasing the previous album, Thalasi, to like, okay, guys, you actually would need to start writing a new album, and that's like really not natural cycle. Usually, you get tours in between, and you get to live a life a bit, you draw experiences, and you get inspiration from there. And now just yeah, we just released a new album, and boom, then it's nothing. It was really hard to get into the mindset of, okay, let's start writing a new album, and especially with the whole COVID chaos that you didn't know what's going to happen. Like you just see your calendar getting empty and empty, and suddenly there's nothing left. It was really like, well, we were all there, but so yeah, I was really trying to find inspiration for the raw demos we had, like these raw ideas, and everything I wrote was just shit. Like nothing really worked out. It really took, I dare to say, it took almost like 2 years that I was really like empty of all the ideas. I mean, I wrote like dozens of raw ideas and some lines for the lyrics, but nothing worked. And we were even at the point when the guys were like, we need the lyrics, we need vocals, so we can actually go forward in the arrangement. Because of course, when you get vocals in the demos, it starts to change the songs also. So there was a lot of pressure also from the band. So I was really like trying to think outside the box. And yeah, I've been thinking about writing a fantasy book for like 10 years, but I always thought I'm gonna write it properly, start to write it like when things are a bit more calm. So like I was always thinking like when I'm 50 or after that, then not like when we're retired, but I always thought like, let's give a few years, I can still elaborate this idea. And I had written some passages, but then I started listening to raw demos with the idea like, hey, could this work? Like if I take like this small fraction from the book and this character and this battle, and I was like, fuck, actually, this could work. And then I explained to guys like, how about this kind of idea? I mean, it's really far out, but for some reason they always trusted me with the lyrics, and here we are. And I guess this means that I really need to finish the book at some
Okay.
point.
So maybe when you finish the book, maybe you can call HBO and have a series. You never know, especially with
Yeah, that would be cool.
yeah. So let's talk more about the
Yeah.
album Winter Storm. So obviously, I know that you are doing a book, and there's part of it on the songs, but you have two singles right now, Winter Storm Vigilantes, which I saw the music video for it. And also 12 days ago, you put out Long Cold Winter of Sorrow and Strife. So tell me a little bit about those two tracks and why you chose them as the singles.
Uh, yes, actually the whole album is kind of connected. They're telling, let's say the book is like this big story, but the album is like this much. It tells like a little bit, like yeah, a few characters from there, and like I said, yeah, it's a really long book. It's gonna go on for generations. So this is really like just a small part. Yeah, these were like obvious choices for the first two singles. I can reveal there's actually gonna be four videos plus this lyric video in the end. And if you watch all the four videos in a row, it's gonna be like a short movie. So this is like I'm really happy about this because usually the I'm not a big fan of making music videos because we're not Rammstein. We don't have a budget for making really
Yeah.
good looking videos with a good story. And anyway, we don't have the budget. But this time, Marcin, who makes the videos and he made the lyric video, he really had the idea that I sent him like the scripts and he got very ambitious. He was like, okay, every video needs to be better than before, like the previous one. So so yeah, it's all gonna make like a short story from within, like not revealing
Okay. So
practically
every
anything
song,
from the actual plot. That's
yeah.
like one faction in the book. Uh,
Okay. So all these
yes,
songs
please.
shot.
Every song.
Uh, and on this album, you have a few guest appearances. For example, in Scars in My Heart, you have basically the female vocalist, Madeline Lagestan, is doing this whole song. And I thought that was a very beautiful track. How was the experience at her guest on that track in particular?
uh, yeah, that was a tricky song. I mean, it is one of the most beautiful thing that Markus, the founder and the main composer of Ensiferum, I think it's one of the most beautiful thing he ever composed. And when we were playing in the rehearsal room, it was actually one of the most easiest songs to put together because it's very straightforward. The rest of the album is quite complex and artistic, in my opinion. Uh, but yeah, this song we were all like very happy. Yeah, this sounds so beautiful. It's gonna be a really good song. But we all knew that the vocal is gonna be a tricky one. So I wrote like few lines and I got an idea. Okay, this song could be about this event, kind of. And
Mm.
we tried with Pekka's clean vocals, and even Pete's harsh vocals. That was very brutal. They have like screaming and gruff vocals and this kind of beautiful ballad almost. And we knew that actually said it out loud. I think we need like female vocals in this one, and everybody agreed. But it took some time that we were thinking like the obvious choices of metal scene, like to ask female singer, but none of them actually felt right. I mean, there are so good singers in other genres. Because in this kind of song, you could actually just have even pop vocals. But anyway, we couldn't find the right person to do it, and then we had a tour with Pain and Swedish band Elaine, and we thought, okay, let's go on a tour. Let's get back to this guest vocalist after the tour. Like now, just let's just focus on the tour, and maybe the solution will reveal itself. And I think it was like the second show. We were like checking the other bands on this tour. We're like, yeah, Elaine has a singer, Madeleine, and we're all like, fuck, she's a good singer. She has really, really beautiful voice. But as a Finn, of course, we need to gather our courage to actually talk with her like for a few more days and get a bit drunk and like, hey, Madeline, we had this idea. Would you wanna sing one song? It's really raw demos, and she liked the song. It's even the demos were you could hear that it's a really beautiful song. And yeah, after the tour, she sent like a rough idea. I think she was like listening to the song from somewhere and just having her phone and just recording like, could you go like this? Da, 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 da. And we were already with that. That's gonna be perfect. And yeah, she came to Helsinki for one day, nailed it, and rest is history. And yeah, funny detail I like to mention when I talk about this track is that it's the only track on the album that has just one vocal line. Every other songs have like harmonies and doubling. Even the harsh vocals sometimes have like multiple layers, choirs. But this one has one vocal track, and I think it
Yeah, and
it's
I
a
like her
song
vocal
very
line.
well. It's all because it's a lonely widow by a sea. So it fits this mood that it's not like layered.
No, yeah, and I think her vocals really work on this, and it makes it different when you're listening to it because, like you said, you only needed one vocal for this one, so makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to
I said,
show
yeah,
the artwork for the new album, and we can talk about the artwork. So, give me 1 second while I show this. So, yeah, here's the artwork for the album. So, Winter Storm, tell me a little bit about what you were trying to convey with this artwork.
uh, the story. Yeah, with the some vigilantes are the fuckers who have these. They have this magic because it's a fantasy book. So they have flying horses, but then not like Pegasus. There's really like magic in the world, and they become like very overpowered and ruthless towards some tribes that live in the same continent. And yeah, the guy in the center, he was actually once part of Winter Storm Vigilantes, but he's exiled. More about that in the book. Actually makes sense when you see the videos and when you have all the songs. The wolf is actually a shaman from one of the tribes. There's a song called Fatherland that tells about the battle from this perspective of this tribe fighting against some vigilantes. But yeah, the wolf is the last shaman of this tribe. Uh, I mean, once again in the book, he's going to be a little boy and he's going to end up being old guy and he's going to make a deal with spirits before he dies that he can actually stay in this world to try and find someone who can revenge his people's fate. Yeah, because the whole tribe is going to be destroyed. That much I can tell about the book. But it's just one of the tribes. There are going to be multiple. And yeah, this tells about the battle of the song Victorious. There's like yeah, the castaway and the spirit wolf, the shaman, they meet, and they both have their reasons why they want to revenge, and they join forces, kind of, and they end up in a battlefield with some vigilantes, and yes, that's what this picture is about.
Yeah, I think yeah, you captured the essence of the album with the cover art. So it's a great cover art, and it's an interesting because it follows the story. And in the cover art, I see details of each song on the album. So that's a cool thing.
Yes, well, what I think it's Easter egg or what it's called nowadays. Bands like to put in their videos and cover art. Well, Iron Maiden already has. I mean, if you check all the Derek Riggs era album covers from Iron Maiden, they were like all these small details, which was part of the fun. Of course, they had the coolest album covers, but then you also like checking through what the small text like on Power Slave and well, somewhere in time that's like legendary with all the 2 minutes to midnight reference and everything. So it's nothing new in the end. We're just ripping off what Iron Maiden did decades ago already.
No, not ripping off. You should say that you are borrowing from those bands from the past and not ripping off. That's what I would say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, yeah, it's a tribute. Not
Like, like a tribute. Yeah, I would totally agree. So the album is out on October the 18th. So what are the immediate plans once the album is out? Do you guys have you guys have some shows planned, or like will you do like a album release show as well?
actually, we're gonna do something fun. Actually, just a couple of days before the album is out, we're gonna have like free listening session in a Bodom bar. It's owned by the guys from Children of Bodom. Uh, and people who pre-order their album, they can actually get it already then. So that I think that's really cool. And
Yeah,
you
that's cool.
sign if people want to have signatures in the brand new album. And yeah, in December we're gonna join forces with another Finnish band called Swallow the Sun. We're gonna do a bunch of shows in Finland, and then on January we're gonna do something massive. We're gonna do a festival uh, in Europe. It was really big thing like 10, 15 years ago. Uh, and yeah, I'm sorry, I can't reveal too much,
Oh,
the politics of music business, but I can tell you we're coming also to North America, and there are plans to tour around the world within the next 2 years. Like next year is already like the calendar looks very busy, and I feel so happy for that because it was really like 4 years of we did like just a couple of tours and just few
yeah.
festivals. It was really empty, so it feels really good now to have the calendar completely full.
Yeah, you have your Microsoft Outlook calendar full now with shows, so you'll have more fun next year. And yeah, I can tell you, like all those years with the COVID must have been very boring, especially for a band to not do anything besides the economic factors.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. Well, I think I waited like 1 or 2 months in 2020. And then I realized, yeah, when I saw the calendar was getting empty, I was like, okay, I need to pay my rent. I need to eat. So, well, I studied, I have two professions from social healthcare field. So
Oh,
I have this safe. I worked as a nurse for 2 years with old people. And now I actually worked 2 years with disabled people. And I had a really cool boss, well, cool clients and cool colleagues. So they are very flexible for me living on tours. So I feel very blessed. So I
so
wasn't, of course,
do you
it was
tell your
boring because
patients?
the gigs, yeah.
Mhm. Do you tell your patients like I'm in a metal band, and they'll be like, "Yeah, whatever." I'm like, "I wrote a book," and they'll be like, "Yeah, yeah, whatever."
uh, for COVID, I was actually working like as a substitute, like 1 day there, 2 days there, maybe a week there. Between the tours, I was working as a substitute in kindergartens because I'm also a kindergarten teacher. And of course, some kindergartens became like steady places, like regular places. They called me like, "Hey, can you come? We need a substitute for 1 day or 2 days." And I remember once a boy at 5 year old, and he knew I was in a band. And one morning he came to me like, "Sami, I listened to your band with Magic," and I was like, "Yeah, it's okay. You're fine. You can listen to children's song, but when you get to your teenage years, see you in the mosh pit."
Nice, awesome. So, Sammy, I'm not gonna take
That's it.
too much more of your time. It's good that you have the album out in a few weeks, and you'll be playing shows in the next year. So, before I let you go, anything that you would like to say to the fans?
Mhm. I want to thank you for your patience because, yeah, like I said, it's the longest gap we ever had. We got a lot of love and support from the fans, so thank you. And I really hope you enjoy the new album. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it was composed during hard times, so no drinking songs on this one, but give it a chance, and you might like it. And if not, the old songs are always there. and
Yeah, yeah. It's not about drinking,
anyway,
people.
it feels really good to get back on the road, and
Yeah.
not all the time, not all the
Not
time.
all of them, but Sami, I want to thank you for joining me from Finland to my couch here in Puerto Rico. Even with the delay, we've had fun talking. So,
Of course, of
Couchers,
course.
the new album is out October the 18th.
Nice.
I'm going to post the link so people can pre-order that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, until next time, Couchers, this is Hector, the shield dude on the
Fantastic.
couch, and
There
I'll
you
see you
go.
all right here on the couch. Thank you
Until
and
next
goodbye.